So I'm going to do a couple of illustrations now, show you how I draw and how I draw my favourite hairstyles, I suppose. Nice hairstyles that you can use for your fashion illustrations, and then how to colour them in as well. So I've got face here, and I'm going to do on this one, I'll put in the hairstyle now. I often do the hair first. It might determine how I draw the shape of the face. And so this one's going to be pulled back. This is my favourite hairstyle to draw because I think it's very chic. It also doesn't detract, if you're doing a fashion illustration, it doesn't detract too much from the fashion if you're using this one, because it's just pulled back into a chic bun at the back, so you don't even see the bun at the back either. Oh, there's a big dot. I'm using the thicker pencil, so if I do that, it's a much bigger dot on the page. But it's easier to see if we're with the filming. So usually I'll do that. This is how I'd start a face. I've got a bit of mascara on her because I know that she's going to have mascara. I've put in her hair, a nice little pulled back hairstyle there, and then I'll colour her in. I'll put in a bit of neck actually as well, so you can see the proportion. Maybe some gorgeous earrings. But see, this is great for doing a fashion illustration because it doesn't detract from the fashion at all. It's a nice simple hairdo that looks fantastic. And I use this colour. And then when I'm colouring in, with the lighter colour that I use, I'm using the studio pen. So there's the studio pen, about that thick. And I go around the outside of the hairline. Did you see that? I'm just scraping the hairline around there. Come in and do a big block shape. Drop that in. And then above that, I always like to, I try to remember anyway, to put in the colours of her eyes. And that isn't perfect white, that's off-white. Whereas on the coloured grid, see that? It's just in. It's not right up in the corner, it's just in a little bit. Doesn't make it too bright, it's a nice way to do it. And then if I was going to do her hair, I'd go above and come in with blonde. And so you do a nice big shape around here. You'll see in a lot of my other illustrations, if I'm doing blonde or a light colour, I'd often put in a light colour underneath this, so as the background, I'd put in a darker colour so I can see nice and easily, but this is working fine for this. And I'll do her eyebrows as well. Now, shading the actual skin, a great way to do this just with blocks. I'm using the studio pen still, and I use the next shade up, or a little bit darker. And a good way to think about it is like a pair of glasses. So you're shading into her eye socket, like this, come in at the top, and you shape the nose with the shading. Then you go under the nose, the top of the lip, and then under the lip, and then under her cheekbones. And you can exaggerate that a bit because her cheekbones are going to be higher. I always do the bottom of her ears and then under her chin. I think that looks quite good for shading. Also, you can go up into here because often the temples are a bit shaded as well. Gives her face more of a lovely sort of, it brings the face out, doesn't it? Makes it look like it's coming forward. And of course you can take this as far as you want. Sometimes I'll often come in then with the pencil again, and then over this just sort of give it a bit of a scrape so it isn't as harsh a line. And you can do that using the smudge tool as well if you want, and it just makes the shading look a little less harsh. But then I'm also taken to leaving it because I quite like the stylistic way of putting it in without any of the pencil looking stuff. It looks quite cool when you just leave it as the big block colours. I'm in a sort of mode at the moment where I don't know which side I fall on that, and it's exciting, to be honest. And then if I'm doing this, I'll do the hair as well, so I'll put that in with the studio pen. And you're just, where's my hair colour? Oh. Come in with something quite dark, and you're just working out where the light's going to fall. So she has a little bit of shade there. And then the fun part after that. So you've done all these parts, that's fantastic. Now you get to do a little bit of makeup. So if I'm doing real basic makeup on her, I use the pencil to do all makeup. And I have it nice and low on the opacity and nice and big on the sides, so you can sort of mix in colours and not make them too harsh like that. I put the lips and nice big wash down the side of the face. This is my preference. I'm very into Japanese things and the mid-century, and this is where they wore their blush. And you wear it up high like a geisha and down the side of your face onto your ears. Not sort of later on they might have had, say in the 60s or something like that, or certainly the 30s. You draw it into the rose, into the sort of middle part of your cheek and make it look all rosy like a baby doll. But I like it a bit more severe like that, like a geisha. So this is a really simple and really easy way to draw a face rather quickly. Always put shine on the lip, by the way. I often put a little bit just above and below her eyes as well. And you see it just sort of lightens her up a little bit. So there's one face. The next way I like to draw is I often start with the hair. So I've got my 6B pencil and I'll start with the actual hairdo, and that often dictates how I would draw the person and how I draw the face, because the hair is going to be in front of the face and dictating how much of the face I have to draw. So I start completely differently sometimes if I'm doing a different hairstyle. So I've got a lovely choppy, wavy, tousled bob here. Gorgeous hair. And then I'm going to do, so here I've got the face next to me. There, you can see the scale it's at. But I can see that this is this part here at the top of the head. So I know from muscle memory that the chin is going to pop out down here. And you would draw the hair, because if you are doing hair, you draw the hair and you would cut the hair in a way to fit the shape. So if you think a lot of like layering that happens, think of that like the Rachel in the 90s, where it comes around and frames the face, and then it's all sort of up here and it's all layered. But so here, this gives you a great idea of where the face is going to come out. And then she has her hair out like this. It was an interesting an interesting hairstyle. But you can do that. So if you've got a fringe, put your fringe in, and you might have little bangs down the side as well. And you know that this is the top of the head, so the bottom of the head's going to come out there. And then whatever happens after the fringe has set the scale for the head. Or if you've got just straight hair, again you've got this point. And so you know where the middle of the forehead is. And so if you work it out, if you put the chin in down here, that's going to either be an extremely thin curtain on the hair, or you bring the chin up to here and it's a bit more realistic like that. But this point, when you're drawing the hair first, usually this point that shows you where the top of the forehead is then dictates where everything else goes on the face, like that. And it's really fun. I often start with a hairstyle rather than the whole face, or I start with a circle and then put a face in. And if I'm starting with a circle and then doing the body, I'm probably going to do a ponytail at the top because I've thought of a whole outfit and I don't want it to detract too much, all the hair and everything up the top. So it'll probably be quite simple. That's my style at the moment. But it's really fun to get right into, drawing. You can draw enormous, great big hairstyles like Patsy off Ab Fab with an amazing beehive. And then you put the face in afterwards because you've worked out where everything's sitting. And she had that big beehive. And there's Stolly Bolly. And you can work out where everything goes after you've put in the hair. So they're the two sort of ways that I draw the thing. If I've got an idea of the hair, I'll draw the hair first. If I've got an idea of the outfit, I'll draw the head first and the hair comes last. That's how I go. But often I have pages just full like this of just hairstyle, because I'm into the history of fashion and the history of sort of hair and makeup as well. You draw a nice 1920s sort of bob and then you put in the face underneath it. That I quite like doing that. So that's how I get to that stage a lot. Is I'll draw hair and be putting in the face afterwards. So I've done that here, and I can see where the face is, and I know just from muscle memory that that's where the nose is going to go. And that's something you learn from muscle memory. So get yourself a template, get yourself an inspiration, and work out how and where it should go. And I put in her face. Like this. So nice simple lines. And remember, you're on Procreate, so you can fix everything up afterwards if you want to change something. I put in some lovely separated eyelashes. So that is a lovely little hairstyle and face. And I'll colour this one in nice and quick as well. So I've got Studio Pen, and I go up into the part. That's what that's called, isn't it? The centre part of the hair. I should know I had a centre part for the whole of the 90s. There's her face, and I'll do the shading again. But you'll see I don't need to go into the hair because the hair's already there. So I'm just doing the parts that I need. Now, because you've got hair, this will come all the way down there, that shadow as well. And sort of bounce like that. Under the nose, Cupid's bow just a little bit, and I might put some into her lips because I think she's going to have nude lips. And then if she had a neck, I would put that in there. Oh, and I forgot to do the eyes. See, I always forget to do. I'm trying to get myself to do the eyes first because I've often got to the end of illustrations and I had to come back in and find the layer. So I like to put the eyes in. And my favourite part is the makeup. So I get my pencil and I'm going to do, what should we do? Let's do something a bit different on this lady. I'm going to give her a red lip. give her eyeshadow as well. If you are doing eyeshadow, it helps to put the eyeshadow in. Do you know what? I'm going to give her a smoky eye, a nice sort of purple or brown. Ah, that's better. And you can come around and really get that eyeshadow down. Get the eyes above that. I'm going to put a little bit darker. And then for the lips, put in a little bit of shade as well. Velvety lips there. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? And a highlight, because you need to make them juicy. If any of you watch Coolleen, you'll know that you need to make your lips juicy. Highlight under the eyes. And then below that, I'm going to put a layer of blush. I often come in with blush really harsh and then draw it back a bit. Oh, and her hair. Gosh. Where's a good colour for hair? So let's do some brown hair on this lady. I put a studio pen. I knew something was missing. And it was hair all along. I like to come in with a mid-tone with the hair. So then I can highlight it and low light it, put shadows and all that in afterwards. And you've got the middle tone all sorted out. And you'll see that happen here. I'm going to use clipping mask. So I'm just drawing on the hair. You can see I can go right across the face and it isn't showing up. Nice big chunks of shadow. And then with a hair like this, you want a highlight as well. Doesn't she look gorgeous? I'm going to change her lips though. This is the whole point. Drawing in layers, you can do whatever you want after the fact. I could not have done that drawing with pen and paper the way I used to. Oh, that's better. It was a bit severe, wasn't it, with those lips? I had a different idea. I think if she was blonde, it might have looked better, but as a brunette, they were too severe with the whole look. One of my favourite parts to put in though, because you can do as much shading as you want on lips. You can put just a little bit in and it's fine, but they're really fun just to get in and get some detail down. And I've got the pencil. You see this? It's big and it's on low opacity. So you're just pasting away, bit by bit, building it up. I love doing that. And of course, we make them juicy. And her eyes. Fab. Doesn't that look great? And then, right, I've just pulled all this hair together. So then if I duplicate this and I do want to change it, you can start bringing in other colours, and you bring them into the midpoint and change it out. Do you see that? You've got that beautiful, what's that called? It's a type of purple. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really cool one. But you can make them darker and lighter by bringing in another colour and just sinking it in to make it different. For example, if I take a red and bring it into the mid-tone, yeah, got beautiful red hair there. Because I've got the 3 tones, it works with the tone. So if you bring in a mid-tone, you put it on your mid-tone once it's all brought together like that. But if you want to bring in a dark tone, like I did with the black, you put it on the dark tone, and I'll make the mid and the light tone different. Again, if I put that dark on the mid-tone, you see what it does? The dark just gets completely washed out, but it makes black hair. If I put it on the light tone, all of it's just dark. So you can play around with those tones and have a great time working out like how to get great hair like that. Doesn't she look amazing? So that is how I draw a face. And that is how I draw hair. That is how I colour in. I hope you enjoyed.